Welcome to the Zampeto Children's Center in Maputo, Mozambique. Here you see some of the 350 children being cared for. Every day, 150 kilograms of rice are cooked in the center's kitchen for these children and their carers. The rice is often served up with a vegetable stew made out of couve. Couve is a kind of kale, a member of the cabbage family. We're going to see what it takes for some of the boys here to grow an excellent crop of couve. The center has a food plot, but not a lot of spare water. The soil is very sandy, so it's a difficult place to manage water and nutrients. Our couve experiment is based on the use of wedding front detectors. These are simple instruments buried in the soil that pop up an indicator as the water infiltrates past them. The detectors also collect a water sample which we use to monitor nutrients. We start by burying wedding front detectors at 30 and 50 centimeters below the surface. Then we installed some detectors really deep. Because this is an experiment, we needed to measure a few more things. We installed watermark sensors to measure how wet and dry the soil was. We converted some of the wedding front detectors to automatic by making simple electrodes so we could measure the conductivity of the soil water. The watermark sensors and electrodes were connected to a logger which lived in the old lady's stomach. Then we tried a new trick. We installed large wheelie bins to act as lysimeters. It's a good method for very sandy soils where we are not worried about changing the soil structure and hence the growth of the couve in the bins. The bins gave us a 90 centimeter deep root zone and allowed us to catch any water that reached the bottom. Gravel was placed at the base and also a tube with a screen that housed a dipstick. This showed us how much water was collected in the base of the bins. Then they were refilled. Finally, we were ready to transplant the couve. Planted the seedlings right next to the drip emitters so we could wet as small an area of soil as possible. Then each time we irrigated, we measured how much water was applied using a bottle under a dripper. We recorded the response of the wedding front detectors and checked to see if water had collected in the bins. The water was tested for its nitrate and conductivity. The logger was downloaded so we could plot the change in soil moisture. All the data is recorded at www.thescientistsgarden.com. Over a 6-week period, the couve was cut, put into bins, and weighed before sending to the kitchen, where it was turned into a soupy stew. And finally onto the children's plates for lunch.